Most I have a by Shemi Shai, the honest to the elders and apostles of GMS who will well, Shalom to the helpful elect. Yeah, I wanted to talk about this. I saw this a few days ago, but I just saw Brother Yawan's lesson, and I wanted to do a video of this. So yeah, I just wanted to bring out a few stuff. I'm probably gonna check out his video later on as well, which is actress Alison Mack sentenced to 3 years in prison, and she's that basically. Where she that small she was Chloe from Smallville, if anyone remembers that. She gets 3 years in prison for kidnapping children and forcing them into sex slaves, which is messed up, man. And she was kidnapping them for this NXIVM cult, you know, which the head, I think his name is Keith Raniere, 60, was found guilty last year of sex trafficking, racketeering, fraud, and other crimes. He was sentenced to 120 years in prison. He said in courtroom, more than a dozen victims gave, I'm going to add gut wrenching testimony about how he manipulated and sexually abused them. Now look at this. Look at this Edomite, man. Keith Raniere promised a path to happiness, seducing wealthy people who felt they lacked a higher purpose in life. His company, NXIVM, offered self-improvement workshops that became popular in Hollywood and business circles. And there was articles about this. I think it was last year. I was reading about this, where it was talking about how they were branding members. And this woman here, Alison Mack, she was instrumental in branding them. Alison Mack was sentenced on Wednesday to 3 years in prison for a role as an ex-IVM slave master for Keith Raniere. Now, it's kind of messed. He gets 120 years, which you don't know if he is really 120 years, because I guarantee you, for this guy to be doing things like this, it goes way above him. But she gets 3 years, and that's the same as Mr. Bill Cosby. I'm not doing my Bill Cosby impression real well. It's not really a funny matter. But yeah, he got 3 years, and she's getting 3 years for kidnapping children and sending them into sexual slavery, basically, which just shows you how uneven this kingdom is. And I'm gonna get that scripture quick. Because what he apparently, was having sex, with these old ass Edomites, which is a joke, because they wanted to have sex with him because he was famous and he had money, but he got 3 years for it, and that was I'm pretty sure that was consensual. They can say whatever they want, but it's I'm pretty sure it's consensual. Were grown women. He gave them quaaludes or whatever, and they chose to take it. It's not like he stole them away from their families. And she's getting 3 years, the same amount of time he just spent in jail for an alleged offense. She's actually been found guilty of an offense, not alleged. She's actually been found guilty. There's witnesses, there's testimonies, there's a history of her being linked to this group, and she got 3 years. This is Proverbs 16:11. A just weight and balance are the Lord's. All the weights of the bag are his weight, are his work. So the Lord hates an unjust balance, and that's an unjust balance. You can't give somebody 3 years for friggin', for consensual sexual escapades, and you're giving this woman, 3 years for kidnapping children and putting them into sexual slavery. I thought men and women were equal in the society, which just shows you how full of crap these people are. And even Elder Apostle Ramla was talking about, these people they put women above the men, but if they really believe that, these Rothschilds and these Oppenheimers, they put, their daughters and their sisters and their nieces, they'd put them in heads of industry. They make them heads of industry and put them and make them CFOs and CEOs and so on and so forth, but they don't, which just shows you that these people are hypocrites, and the Lord hates a hypocrite. I'm gonna start at Job 38. There were children of fools, yeah, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. So these people are viler than the earth. And every single time I come across an Edomite, I get vexed in my spirit. You know, I, I, I can't even say I hope to be elect, but if I am and the Lord tells me to do judgment on these people, I dash their little babies on the rocks. I won't feel no way about it, man. Because these people are disgusting, man. The things that they and me saying that to them is wicked when they've done way. I'm saying something. These people will do way worse than what I'm saying. I'm saying something they've done way worse, and to them, what I'm saying is disgusting. Not what they've done. What I'm saying is disgusting. This is how, bereft of judgment these people are. I'm going to get the new international version. It says, a base and nameless brood that were driven out of the land. So everywhere these people went, they were driven out, because wherever these people went, they bring death, they steal, they bring disease. They're just a disgusting people. And if you've lived around these people, these people they're just born liars. Even coming from that video of that little girl talking about a black man broke into her house and ate a chocolate, and she had chocolate all over. She had chocolate all over her face. These people are just liars, man. And this is the context of it. They cried out among the shrubs and huddled beneath the nettles, a senseless and nameless brood who were driven off the land. And now they mock me in song. I've become a byword among them. So you got these people who are really children, who are beneath you, who are base men, and they lord themselves over you. And if you look into the word brood, and everybody should know what the word brood is, but it says a family of birds or young animals produced at one hatching or birth. So they're a family, a family of animals, really and truly. That's what they are. Uh, I don't really want to get into too much. I'm gonna just read a little bit of it. She renounced Rainier during their sentence. So as soon as she was up against the wall, she basically started snitching, which is what a lot of them do. I was watching the news, and with the President Trump thing where they're trying to indict him. And these people, instead of just saying, what, we did some tax evasion, they was like, well, people was doing worse than us. See, this is Esau. When he does something wrong, instead of him just admitting he's done something wrong, he likes to shift the blame, because he's a woman. When you do something wrong, you own up to it, you man up, and you take blame for it. I don't know about other brothers or anybody else, but in the world, when I'm going work or whatever, when I do something wrong, I own up to it. A lot of the times when these people, like the other day, this dude, and I think I said this before in a video I made, this dude, he crashed one of the vans, and when I went to go and get his stuff, I started laughing at him. I was like, how you crashed the van? Because he'd written off the van. The van couldn't even drive. And when I started laughing, he said, the boss basically told him that I'd crashed the van before. And I did, but I hit the back, you know what I mean? I knocked out, one of the machines on the van, but the van was still drivable. I got disciplined for it. But I was looking at him like, I crashed the van, but I was still able to drive the van back to the depot. I might have little scrapes or whatever. It's part and parcel for when you're doing a driving job. You might hit a pole, because it happens. But my guy, you've licked off the van. Instead of just saying, what, I did something wrong. You're trying to deflect judgment from yourself onto me. And he's in that real Edomite spirit. Is a J, and I really despise him, man. I don't hate him, but I hate him, because he was talking about how he'd have sex with another man's woman, and from then I just thought, this guy's wicked, man. And when he realized I wasn't in that spirit, he tried to pretend that he wouldn't do it, and it's like Jake loved to pretend, but you can see it right through him. Same with Esau, man. Esau likes to act like he's all righteous, but these people are base, man. Mac, which is Alison Mack, which is her name, damn brute beast, who is best known for her role as a young Superman's close friend on the TV series Marvel, has pleaded guilty in 2019. So it's taken her 2 years to be sentenced. If that was a Jake, he would have been in jail like that, to racketeering and conspiracy charges after she blackmailed at least 2 women into becoming sex slaves for Rania. And this goes back, as a brother Yuan was talking about, this goes back into, the original slavery that Jake was under, because there was raping, your daughters, your wives. That you have a woman and he's coming in and he's popping your woman. And even when Esau was in slavery, Jake is not going to be moving that wicked. No, ain't no Jake in his right mind, and Jake is going to be in his right mind. He's not going to come in and take his woman and pop her. So it just shows that this look at these people, man. And I'm gonna get into Isaiah 3:4. And I will give children to be their princes, and babes shall rule over them. So these people are children, in comparison to the children of Israel. And the people shall be oppressed, everyone by another. So even when you're going through life, just how people behave is real oppressive. No one wants to do what's right. People are like animals, man. They're dirty, they're disgusting, they're disrespectful, and it's oppressive to be around people. Everyone by another, and everyone by his neighbor. You might have a neighbor. This idiot is playing, loud music at 4 o'clock in the morning. You can't even sleep because they don't even think and fathom that the walls are thin. These are stupid people in this kingdom are. When a man shall take hold of his brother of the house of his father, saying that well, that's going to something else. I'm going to Isaiah, same third chapter. I'm going to verse 9. The show of their continence doth witness against them, and they declare their sin as Sodom. So they're openly showing their contempt for Jake. They hide it not. Woe unto their soul, for they have rewarded evil unto themselves. Say ye to the righteous that it shall be well with him, for they shall eat the fruit of their doings. So these people are gonna get a recompense for everything that they're doing, even though most Jakes don't want to see Esau be judged. Cause you gotta be wicked yourself to not want to see somebody being wicked get judged. Woe unto the wicked, it shall be ill with him, for the reward of his hand shall be given him. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy paths. The Lord standeth up to plead and standeth to judge the people. So we're hoping the Lord come back and start judging, and he's starting that, with the elders and apostles and the big brothers who are teaching us, the right way of of actually looking at judgment and understanding what this is. And I wanted to get this last thing just to put it in broader context. It says this boy he's good for news sometimes. It says hate crimes against black people have increased by 30%, and it shows him. He's really mocking. He's showing all these Asians around him because he passed a bill, to make it illegal to commit hate crimes against Asians, where Jake has been receiving hate crime for the last 500 years, and he's not passed any bill for Jake's. So which just shows you that these people have a complete contempt for Jake. And anyone in their right mind, any Jake in their right mind, any so-called black person in their right mind who doesn't see a problem with this society, I'm sorry, that's a big mistake. No one in their right mind is going to be happy to be in the society, because if you're in your right mind, you're going to actually see how contrary these people are. They pretend to do judgment, but everything that they do is contrary. And I'm just going to read a little bit of it. Hate crime in California surged 30% in 2020, fueled mainly by a big jump in crimes targeting so-called black people during a year that saw the worst racial strife in decades, according to an annual report released Wednesday by the state's attorney general. Overall, hate crimes increased from 1,015 to 1,330 last year, while the number of victims increased 23% from 1,247 to 1,536. Black people account for 6.5% of the state's population of nearly 40 million people, which is that 6%. What's that? 10 is 4, so about 2 million, maybe about 2.5 million black people out of 40 million people, but were victims in 30% of all hate crimes. Whoa, 456 overall, up 87 from the previous year. What we see from these reports is what we have seen and felt all year. We are in the midst of a racial justice reckoning in this country. It's multifaceted and it cannot be solved overnight, Attorney General Rob Bonta said. And this goes into all people going back to their old people, which is part of the prophecies. All people are gonna go back to their people, and you're not gonna want to dwell with different and diverse people, because everybody's in this whole interracial. A man can be a woman, do as thou wilt spirit, and the Lord is soon gonna he's gonna squash that, and everybody's gonna they're gonna be forced to live correctly, but they're gonna pay for the stupidity that allowed them to be put in that situation in the first place. All praise to the Most High, Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, double honors to the elders and apostles of Jim, well, shalom to the Philip.